Hello students, today we are going to start with new poem that is Success is Counted Sweetest. This is an early poem written by American poet Emily Dickinson in 1859. Here this poem makes the bold claim that success is best understood by those who fail. Here the poetess wants us to understand that it is not the person who has become successful knows what is success in the more better way here. Here she wants to tell us the person who is failed, the person who has failed in a particular thing, that person knows success more better than the person who has won here. And to, you can say, make us understand her claim, she has given two very nice examples in the poem where she wants us to know that how a person who has failed knows more about success than the person who has won. Here, the poem has rare honor of publication during Dixon's lifetime, though it was published anonymously. Anonymously means what? It was not published with a name of approximately 1800 poems. Only a handful were published during her life. Now see here. Success is counted sweetest by those who never succeed. Here, poetess wants to tell us that people who always fail are the ones who appreciate success the most. To truly value something sweet like success, you have to really need it. Here, she wants to tell us that until and unless you desire that I want to be successful, I want to achieve this goal and all, then only you will know what real success is. Now, for example, you are giving any particular competitive exam and you have scored good in that exam, and your one of your friend, he has not scored good and that person is failing in that exam. So you cannot say that I have understood the what is success more nicely. The person who has failed, he knows what success is and what he has lost here. So for with this first two lines, the poetess wants us to understand that only, that people who fail are the ones who actually appreciate success the most. They actually know what success is rather than the person who has become successful. Now she has given here example of that. See here, to comprehend a nectar requires sorest need. Now she wants to tell us here that, for example, like a bee, a honey bee, if the honeybee desires nectar more and more, the hungrier it gets. Likewise, the poetess wants to tell that people who are longing for success is met only with failure feel increasingly hungry for success here. Like how honeybee, if honeybee feels that it is very hungry, then it will look out for the nectar and all. It will drink the nectar and all. It will then only it will get satisfied. The hungrier it gets, the more it will look out for the nectar. In the same way, if the person is a failure, if the person has not made success for a long time, that person will work more harder to get success here. After that, other example, not one of all the purple host who took the flag today can tell the definition so clearly of victory as he defeated dying, on whose forbidden year the distant strains of triumph burst agonized and clear. Here another example of the success the poetess she is giving here. She is telling not one of all the purple host. Purple host means what? During the times of kings and all, that time the army who had won the war, they used to wear a purple uniform, that is known as what? Purple host. So here the poet is saying not one of the all the purple host, means not one of the you can say soldier from the purple host who took the flag today, means they hoist after winning the war, they used to hoist the flag. This purple host means that army, with purple uniform, they used to hoist the flag. So she wants to tell her they can also not tell the actual definition or the correct definition of victory. What victory actually is. These people, means this purple host who has won the war, who are hoisting the flag after the victory, can also not tell the definition of victory so clearly as he defeated dying, whose forbidden year the distant strengths of triumph burst agonized and clear. Means as he defeated, means the opposite army, the army who has defeated, and the soldiers who are dying on the battlefield, who are there suffering, breathing their last, means if they from distant also, if they hear the triumph, means they used to blow the, you can say, trumpet, and these people, if they hear the music of the victory and all, this asks these people, they will tell you what actually victory is, because these are the people who had really worked hard and they have still not won, so they actually know the value of victory. So he is saying, rather than asking one of the soldier of the purple host about what victory is, you should ask the soldier who is been defeated in the war. Ask the opposite army soldier who is defeated in the war, who is there in the battlefield, lying there injured and all. Ask him what victory is, because he will feel really bad when he hears the distant strength of triumph. Means when he hears the strength, means what, music of triumph, music of victory, which the victorious army must be playing there at that time. When it comes on his ear, he must really be feel that he should not hear, or he should be dead before hearing this music. So it would burst agonized and clear. It would really make be that music, which is actually very melodious and all, it will become a symbol of pain for him. He would really feel very, you can say, painful when he hear that music of victory from the opposite army. So yes, students, I have told you the entire poem here. What is this poem about? This poem is mainly about the, you can say, the concept success. Here the poetess wants us to understand that the person who fails actually knows what success is, rather than the person who wins here. Because that person has really longed for success, he has really worked hard for success, but still he has not won. So he really knows the value of success more nicely than the person who has won. So that's why the title of the poem, that is Success is Counted Sweetest, is very apt according to the poem. She has given very nice two examples. One is of the honeybee, that when it is very hungry, then only it goes out in search of the nectar here. So here the poet, see here for third and fourth line, to comprehend a nectar requires the sorest need. Means here, if you want to have that sweet taste of success, you should be, you can say, very willing to get success here. Sorest need means what? The person who really needs it. So here he has given example of a nectar, like a honeybee. When it really is hungrier, it looks out for the nectar because it is hungry. In the same way here it is, here again you can say, you can also comprehend in the other way, that nectar signifies drink, which has some religious importance, and once a person drinks that nectar, the person becomes immortal, the person will never die. So here the person wants to tell us that the person, if a person, we normal human beings, if we drink water also here, so we don't know the importance of water, because whenever we need water, we just remove the bottle from the fridge, or we take water from the pot, we take water from anywhere and we drink it. But the person who lives in the desert here, he really knows what actually the importance of water is. Every drop of water is really important for him, and he doesn't waste that water, because he lives in the desert. He knows how hard it is to get that water here. So he really knows the importance of it, rather than the person like we really don't know what is the importance of the water, because We really get it very easily just by sitting in our home. But the people who are living in the desert, they don't get it very easily. So they actually know the importance of it. So here the poetess want us to understand that only until and unless you know the importance of anything, until and unless you are in die hard need of something, you don't actually know the value of it. I hope you have understood the poem. Try to go through the video lecture again and try to understand it more nicely. Thank you.